So you guys wanted to know how I manifested my vision board by August. So like my 2025 vision board is done. I'm a Capricorn, so I'm usually a goal girly, but this is really not about goals at all. The way that I approach this is a much deeper, vibier, dreamier way, because here's the thing. Let's think about, what do you actually want in your life? Like, do you want a six-figure year in your business? Do you want a 10K month in your business? Like, they're kind of surface level things. Or is it that you want to feel like abundant and you want to feel free and you want to feel like not stressed about money, like money comes easily to you, you know? A lot easier to start feeling those ways than if you set a goal that's like, okay, here's X amount of dollars that I want to make, and then when you don't hit it, you're gonna feel like crap. Or could that amount actually be limiting you? Could you actually go well beyond 10K months? But because you're so fixated on 10K, you're actually getting stuck there. Like, that's a potential too. So the way that I approach this is, number one, there's like 3 steps to this, okay? First, we're going to get into a dreamy headspace. You need to figure out, like, what is it that helps you to connect with your inner voice, your higher self, God, goddess, spirit, the universe, like however you want to, think about that feeling where you're connecting to something besides your day-to-day brain. Okay, we want to like go beyond that, go deeper, go into like a flow state. So some ways that I do this are literally like listening to music while doing the dishes, going for walks, journaling, meditation, yoga, exercising. What is it for you? Figure that out. And while you're in this like state, you want to think about, and not think about so much, is just allow yourself to daydream. What's it gonna look like? What's your life gonna look like? What's it gonna feel like when you're at the place you want to be? Like, what do you want it to be? You're kind of like building this daydream, building this world. Imagine you're like writing a novel, like what does the world look like? What is the space? Who are the characters? And then I like having a word that's going to like kind of anchor it. So I usually have like a word of the year. So for my Pinterest vision board, I have my word of the year and then the year. So it's like this year's expansion 2025. And I go into Pinterest, I name my board, and then I just start looking for images that represent what I want to feel. Sometimes they could be quotes. Sometimes it's an image of like what I want to see. And a lot of times I like it being from like my POV. So for example, I had this like image of like having champagne and being in bed and your man's like kissing your leg, right? Because I wanted to have this like both intimate but also adventurous and kind of like luxe romantic time with my husband. Like, that's the feeling that I wanted. Like, I now have like pictures on my camera roll that are really, really similar, I want to feel really like abundant and in tune with like my resources. And so part of that is like money mindset stuff, but part of it, what makes you feel that feeling of abundance? Because for me, it's not going to be cars or even houses or honestly even trips and vacations at this point. It's very like the simple day-to-day things that help me feel like that every single day, and also don't feel hard. I think sometimes we set these like goals and we have these vision boards that like have like the fancy cars and the trips and the things like that. And so it feels like we have to work and struggle to get there. But like growing a garden doesn't feel hard. Like, sure, I might have to go pull some weeds or whatever, but right now my garden honestly is a mess. It's like overgrown with all these weeds, but under those weeds, I've got tomatoes growing. I've got sunflowers popping up that were volunteers that like dropped seeds from last year are sprouting up as sunflowers now. I have these milkweed that we planted for the butterflies that are popping up from last year. I've got dill from last year popping up. I've got these pepper plants that are producing. Like, I've got all of this coming in, all of this abundance, even though the garden's messy. You know what I mean? And so if my goal had been, I want a perfectly curated garden, then I would have felt like I failed. But that was not the goal. The goal was to feel abundant, and that is how I feel. both like in my business and in the money, but also in my garden. And by the way, as far as the money goes, like I've had some of the biggest months and this is actually like probably one of the biggest years, if not the biggest year, I have to do the math, I've ever had. I just sent out like some of the biggest proposals I've ever sent out. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions.